Hello guys and welcome back to another Empyrion Galactic Survival tutorial session. Today I'm going to be explaining the menu. What is that? Just press tab and you'll find out, Bart. Oh, this is quite interesting. So you got a big menu here which with a lot of information and all these tabs up top there. I'm going to show you what this is all about. So first of all, this is your inventory. Shows your mass and your volume, how much you can carry, depending on the armor you're wearing. If you ever want, you can drop some items here on the ground, or if you want to dispose of it permanently, you can just throw it in the trash. You drop your iron ore. I know, I did it on purpose, okay? Let me just pick that right back up. Now on the top right here, you got your character level, experience, how much you need to get to the next level. You can max out at level 25, and as you upgrade in level, you unlock some more unlock points, which will be used in the tech tree. And we'll get to that soon. So you have your health, food, stamina, and oxygen. Depending on the armor you're wearing, you can have a different amount of oxygen. And also, if you have some boosters, you can even have even more. Now, food consumption also depends on the armor, depending on the mods you've put in there. On the armor stats here, it gives you all your armor information. The name, armor value, durability, how much there is left, and your comfort zone. When you go out in space, it could go to -200, and some planets have 1,000 degrees. And also, radiation protection. What about if you get sick or you get hurt? Well, I'm gonna get to that now. Now, I've had something give me a dermal parasite. When you have an ailment, if you hover your mouth over what your guy has, it'll give you a description of the sickness and what you need to heal it. What happens if you don't take care of it in time? Well, your sickness becomes worse and your guy is probably gonna die. Huh, that's cruel. You can see from the list here that there are a few different ailments that you can have during the game. Make sure you have medicine with you at all times so you can take care of it. As you can see, I have myself a detox kit that should take care of dermal parasite. If I hold shift and right click on it from the menu, it's going to use it. Now some of these, when you heal them, will give you other type of wounds. To heal the open wound, I could just use a bandage. And there you go, my guy is healed up. Over here on this little tab, you got the survival constructor, which is basically things you can build without the use of a small constructor or a large one or advanced. On this tab here, report bugs. It'll connect you to the Empyrion website where you can report any mistakes you might come across. The second tab here is logistics. With this, you can easily transfer items from one place to another depending on if you have Wi-Fi. Right now, I brought in the Darius here. I am close enough so I can actually access the menu. You can use a shortcut by pressing F4. This way I can transfer stuff easily, or you can shift click to send more at a time. On the first tab, you choose which building or vehicle you want to transfer to. And on set vehicle you've chosen, you can choose which cargo box to go into. The last little tab here is to access your fuel, oxygen, or pentaxid tank, depending on if you have one installed in the currently selected base or ship. Now with these arrows, you can transfer everything all at once, and also take into consideration the volume in this particular storage. Now, with this option, you connect to your container on the right from a distance, which will activate this little toolbar. You can use a shortcut to pretty much travel from one toolbar to another by pressing T. Now what you can do with this is, because a lot of items weigh too much to carry on your person, this way you can connect from a distance and be able to place blocks without actually having them on yourself. Now this ship doesn't currently have any Wi-Fi, but if I were to install one, I'll put one here temporarily. I know it's an ugly place, but it's just for learning purposes. I could easily connect and be able to go a lot further without losing connection. So if you're playing with volumes and weight, this is the best way to be able to do some building without encumbering yourself. On the bottom here, if you want, you can always do different sortings depending on type, alphabetical order, food, perish time, mass, or volume. As such. The third tab here, you can access this by pressing F3. You have the tech tree. As you gain levels, you will have more unlock points available to you. These unlock points can be used to unlock recipes. On the top left, you see the cost. On the left here, you see the color key, which you can pretty much match with the color key down below to see which constructor you need to build it with. So you can unlock stuff for base, capital vessels, small vessels, hover vessels, miscellaneous, tools, and weapons. It is very important in the beginning that you take a look at this and see where you want to go and which type of equipment you want to unlock. If I were you, I wouldn't worry too much. You have enough unlock points to unlock everything in the game. So with my unlock points, and I could actually get some better weapons, right? Yeah, that's absolutely right. But I mean, you're holding a pretty good gun already. Yeah, but I want something with more firepower, a little bit of explosive powers as well. Yeah, but no, that's not gonna happen. Okay, Rakoona, so what's the fourth tab? The fourth tab is faction. On the first tab here, you can see the reputation with all of the faction that you've uncovered so far. You got the Zyrax Empire, who are pretty much evil. Talon and the Polaris will probably be your friend through your trek in Empyrion. And there are many other factions to uncover. But no spoilers. As you complete missions to them or kill enemies of that said faction, you will gain some reputation points. So as your reputation grows higher, you'll be able to trade with said faction. And if you become friendly or even honored, you'll get some good discounts. Yeah, discounts. Now that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, hold your horses, Art. So as you hover over each faction, you can see what you can do to try and improve your reputation with them, and what will give you penalties. On the second tab here, you have Human, which is basically your faction. You can create one, just need to write your name, or the name of your faction, and it'll give you an automatic abbreviation. So if you ever have other players with you, they can actually join your faction. You can create alliances with other factions as well, so their turrets doesn't blow you sky high. The fifth tab is your PDA Log. You can access this by pressing F1. On the first tab you have your tutorial, which gives you a little bit of explanation about the games. If you want to activate the mission, you can go and activate tutorial at the beginning, which will prompt something. There you go, that's a lot of freaking text. Yeah, you better get reading. On the second tab you have your solo missions. All missions are separated by factions mostly. The main mission will be in the story. Again, if you don't have that mission active, you can press Activate Mission. And there you go, IDA is speaking to you. Yeah, saying all sorts of stuff. If there is somehow a bug, or there is something that you're not able to do, it is ill-advised, but you can always check here to manually skip through that part of the mission. Some of these missions will become available to you as you gain reputation points with the said faction. So when you click a mission, you have the option to activate that mission. You can only have one mission active at a time. You have a description, they'll tell you what to do, and at the right, your reward, which is mostly gonna be faction points, along with a reward and sometime activating another mission. On the third tab here, you have the Empyrion. Yeah, it's a mouthful. If you need information about the game, you can pretty much take a look at this. And it'll give you all sorts of interesting tutorials. And why the hell are you doing a video? Because some people rather listen to a YouTube tutorial than frickin' reading all that crap. On the fourth tab, you have the Journey Book. In here, you can find your story characters and more information about the things you encounter during the game. Over here on your PDA log, you'll have all the text that prompted in your screen. So if you miss any information or codes, you can always go back here and read it. So what's that tab with the spaceship? Oh, that is blueprints. Yeah, very interesting tab. If you don't want to build a ship block by block, you can always get some from the workshop. Or if you make your own ship, you can always save it in a blueprint. In here, you have a couple of tabs. On the left side, these are your own personal blueprints. Middle one are workshop, and the right are the ones supplied by the game. Now you can have more filters here, one for the base, hover vessels, small vessels, capital vessels, and all. Now if you want to spawn in a blueprint, you'll have to send it over to the factory. From here, it'll tell you all the resources you need to put in to be able to bring the ship and how much total production time it'll need. To do so, you need to bring the resources inscribed here. But you don't need to bring the bars or the ingots. You can just bring some components and it's going to automatically fill in the spaces. Another important thing to take into consideration is the unlock level. You need to be at least a level inscribed here to be able to bring in the ship. Once the production is complete, the spawn option will become active. And then you can just bring that little puppy in. You gotta make sure that it's green though. There you go. Brought in a new HV. That ship is yellow. I know it's an early build, okay? Don't just cool down. So how do you actually put ship on the blueprints? Well, for that it's quite easy. You just need to go towards a ship you want to save. Let's say I want to save this under a new name. I just have to hold Alt O, and over here it's going to give me the option to save as, overwrite, or cancel. This way you'll save your ship in the blueprints file. So if you ever destroy one or something like that, you can always bring another one in. Well, that is quite useful. I know, right? So what about that other tab? Well, for that, I'm gonna have to go out into space, alright? I'll explain it to you later. So inside some neutral, friendly, or honored faction, you've got some stations, either in space or on the planet, which holds a certain object. And this is the trading station. As you can see, is the marketplace tab. Now, I have never personally used these myself, but you have the tab here for wanted, for sale, recent, and pending. Now, this is only available in multiplayer. As you can see, under the wanted tab, you have a create offer for things that you want. So under here, you choose what you want to buy, you write how many, how much you're willing to pay, and how long you want the offer to be on the trading station. As you can see, you have access to all the filters here as well. Food, weapons or ammunition, blocks, components, inside devices, and random stuff. Also, it can as well be filtered by buildings, capital vessels, small vessels, and hover vessels. Now, if you want to sell something, you need to have the item in your inventory. I have 2 plant fibers. I want to send them all. And I want to sell them at 50,000 credits each. Or is that... Yeah, okay, that's a fee I gotta pay, apparently. And since I don't have money, I suppose you need to have the money to create the offer. And that's how this works. Yeah, doing some trading never really interested you, huh, Rakoona? Nah, not really. I like solo playing mostly. Alright, on to the next tab. What is that? That is Registry. So there is a lot of information to be seen here. On the left, you have the system you're currently on, and as you unlock some more system, they will all appear here. Under each system, you'll have a tab with the sectors and planets you've visited. Once you click on one, here it'll show you how many buildings, capital vessels, small vessels, hover vessels, and others there are. So let's say Luhitra, that we're on the planet, and on the right it shows what I've discovered and what is currently owned on this planet. You can select one by clicking on it, and you can show it on the map. Same with the iron deposit. There you go. And also on the right, it shows you how far you are from said building. So if you select one of your ships, you'll have a couple of options down below. Statistics, which will bring you in your statistics tab for your ship. Now this is this little option here, but we're not going to get into that right away. I can also access the control panel of my ship from here, no matter where it is. It'll give me access to this little tab here, the control panel tab. Again, yeah, not there yet. I can put a waypoint if I want to know which way I need to go to get there. If I want, I can do a reset waypoints, which will remove all of them. As for proximity logs, it'll give me a detailed log of whenever I've been close or inside the Darius, which is something I've never really played with. Wow, okay, that's a lot of information. On the top here, you can use a filter to have less items in the list. Over here, you have a filter to show only your bookmarks, show only terrain placeables, and show only resources. And you have these 3 little tabs over here, which is private, faction, and others. And over here, you have your waypoints. Now, an interesting thing with this registry, imagine you're flying out in your ship and you fall off. I hate it when that happens. And I'm stuck on the ground and my ship is just floating in the air. Well, you need not fret. There's a solution for everything. As you can see, I flew the Darius up there and I jumped off of it. Yeah, it was a brutal landing. Now, if this happens to you, it has happened to me before, there is an easy solution. I can go in the Registry tab and select the Darius. And from here, I can actually turn off the power. As you can see, it is now falling down to the ground. And now that tree is spazzing out. Didn't like that. Okay, now, what's that tab with the compass? That, my friend, is the map tab. It shows you the map of the planet. You can hold left click to scroll around and see what you've uncovered. On it, you'll have little icons, but these would only appear on your map if you've uncovered them, either with your scanner or just by approaching it on foot. On the top left here, you can toggle the territory view. This will show you the factions that are currently on this planet and will show as a circle depending on where the faction building is. Now when you are inside these circles, there will be a little icon on the top right under your little mini-map. The color next to it shows you your reputation with this current faction. Gray is neutral. On the top right here, you have the planet info, which gives you all the information you need about said planet. You have the name, the type, planet size, planet difficulty, gravity, which is very important if you don't want to get stranded on a planet, temperature, radiation, atmosphere density, oxygen, and it'll say if it's breathable or not. Under here, you have the resources that you can find on the planet. If you take your mouse over each resources, it's going to tell you which one it is. In case of resource depletion, you'll have some meteorite that can come down, which will give you more resources available to you. On the bottom here, you have a little description of said planet. If you click on this tab, it'll show you all of your map markers. If I was to put a marker here on this large wreckage, I can right-click. It'll give me the coordinates, the name of the marker, what icon I want to use, a waypoint, show on HUD, and remove on approach. Now, if I was to put one and I accept, it'll show up here. On the bottom here, you have show on map. You can edit your marker. You can remove it. You can share with the public, or you could share with the faction. And that is a lot of things to learn. I know, Bart. I know. But, you know, once you know this, it's going to be a breeze. Alright, so on with the next button. What is it? Over here, we have the system map. This will take me to a map of the current system I'm in. But keep in mind, there are thousands upon thousands of systems in Empyrion, with all the different sets of planets, asteroid fields, and moons. You can also find some gas giants, which you can't really go to, only on its moons. On the top left here, you have the info panel, the warp lines, and orbit lines, which you can toggle on and off. As such, when you toggle the warp lines on, if you zoom in, it'll show you what the distance is and how much pentaxid it's going to use. When you toggle the info panel, it'll give you all of the moons and planets available on this system. On the second tab, again, you have the markers, which is basically the same thing as on a planet. If you click on the second tab here, it'll give you the information about this system. Name, type, color, and luminosity, surface temperature, mass radius, age, habitable zone minimum, habitable zone maximum, discovered by who, and resources, description, all of that. Again, lots of information. Now, if you click on this other tab, it'll give you the information about the sector in space, not on the planet. Now, if I am to go on Epsilon 1, it'll give me all the information about this sector. It'll show me which asteroid I'm likely to find out in space. Like on the planet, if you hover your mouse over each resource, it's going to tell you what it is. Now, if you are to click on this last little tab, it'll give you the information about the planet and also the resources available on that planet. Very important to read the description. Sometimes it'll give you a warning, like multiple anti-aircraft turrets detected. So if you have an unshielded ship, it's better not to go venture too far on that planet. In the bottom here, you have the lock target button. If you were to select a planet that you want to go to and you want to warp to it, first of all, you need to lock it. Now, when you're in space and traveling with a warp-capable vehicle, the sector that I want to warp to will be highlighted as such. So I can press K, which is the shortcut to warp drive, and be on my way. Wow, Rakoona, that is awesome! My god, this game looks freaking huge! Ha! You've seen nothing yet! Okay, so I guess you're gonna tell me about that other tab right there, right? Yeah, this is the galaxy map. As you can see, we are currently in the Elyon system. Now you can travel through the map by holding the left mouse button. You can press shift to wander a little faster, or you can press Control Shift and move to go super fast. All of these little stars that you see are all places you can go with their own sectors and planets and asteroid fields and moons. Yeah, this game is huge. On the top left here, you have things you can toggle, pretty much like when you're looking in the system map. You can have the info about each and every system. On the second tab here, you have your visited system, and on the third tab, you have your map markers. The second toggle here is warp lines. If you've warped to a system, let's say that I'm on Glora Beta, first of all, my little blue arrow would be pointing at that thing, and you could see a little line connected between the two of them, showing which way I've come from. It's a way not to get lost. Third tab is system names. It is highly recommended to leave them on. The fourth one is territory. When you have this on, it shows various territories. Over there you have the Zyrax Empire, you have the Creel Empire, Polaris. Over here you have the Pirates, and many more. Yeah, so many factions in this galaxy. And this last tab here is the region names. You can toggle on and off as you see fit. To be able to warp to any of these systems, you need to have a capital vessel with warp drive capabilities. Now, the normal warp drive begins with a limit of 30 light years distance that you can warp at a time. Later on, you can upgrade it and travel a little farther. Let's say I wanted to warp to this system. I would need to lock the target as I do when I do some warps in the system map. And again, you can press K to warp. Just make sure you don't run out of pentaxid. My god, it is really huge. Geez, so many places to visit, so many friends to meet. I know. It's awesome. Now, Rakoona, what is this last tab? That, my friend, is a control panel. When you're inside a ship or near one, you can access its control panel. You can either click here or press P. That is a lot of information. I know. We'll get to them one by one. So on the first tab here, you have the info for your ship. The name, the mass, energy, the current faction, which you can change by scrolling down in it. CPU efficiency, if you're playing with CPU of course, CPU usage, and CPU tier. On the bottom here, you have the power usage, which is currently at 10%. If it goes above 100%, could slightly damage your generators until they actually blow up and your ship becomes inactive. On the bottom left here, you can save your template. This is used if you want to repair your ship back to template using a T2 repair station. Under the general tab here, you can turn power on, off, oxygen, shields, light, signals, turrets, thrusters, auto brake, and pilot mode. By turning off some of these components once you've landed your ship, you can save a little bit on energy consumption, giving a lot more time remaining on your power. On the third tab here, you have customs. You can actually customize your switches. With these, you can actually customize your device signal logic. But this is a little bit more complex, and I think it's going to need a video all on its own. So for the rest here, I'm not really going to touch this right now. So on the bottom here, you have your shields, how much it's capable of, and how much it's charged currently. You have your ammunition that the ship is using currently. Now, if you're connected to a cargo box via Wi-Fi, like I've showed you by pressing F4, and you have the bullets inside of that cargo box, you can just press fill all and everything will reload. Or you could just manage it here, which will automatically bring you into your container controller for your ammunition. So if you have any ammunition, you can just drag and drop them in that box. On the bottom here, you have your oxygen, fuel, and pentaxid tank. If you have some oxygen tanks on you, or some fuel, or refined pentaxid, you can just press fill all and will automatically fill up with as much as you are currently carrying. Again, you can manage by pressing the manage button. You can drag and drop your oxygen in here, and also remove it. I currently took some pentaxid on me, and I'm going to press fill all. Now this is going to fill up to 60%. Now automatically, since my shields are activated, as you can see, the shields are currently charging up all the way until it hits 6,000. Now to recharge your shield, this uses a lot of power. But once it's at 100%, it'll go back down. So on the second tab, you have devices. Yeah, all of the devices that your ship currently has. Now I'm going to start with the auto group. It'll automatically group everything together: cargo box, cockpits, thrusters, doors. It'll automatically make things a lot more organized. Over here, you can add a group if you want to customize your grouping, and you can remove an item from a group. As you can see here, I just created a custom group. I select the thruster and I say add to group, and it's going to ask me which group. I can select custom, and boom, it went automatically in there. Now, if I press this little button, it's add to last group. So I can do this for each and every item as I see fit. If I hover over a group, I can rename it. Here, this button, you can collapse all or expand all. Now from the devices menu, I can actually activate and deactivate each and every individual device. I can also show on HUD if I want to know where a particular item is. As you can see, the container controller is right over there. See, right here, so reliable. Let's remove that. Now from here, you can also access each container. If I am to select a folder here and I'm in a group, I can actually use the custom buttons here. In case I don't want to use only these and I want to be able to use my custom buttons, and I can deactivate and activate every item as I see fit depending on which group it is. Now, why the hell is it night now? Much better. Now I can see. So from the devices menu, you have your turrets. If you want, you can select from the group and say what you want them to attack and not to attack by toggling these little icons here. And then when you're done, you can just press apply to the group and it's going to apply to all of the turrets inside that group. If you want, you can actually access said turret. But to do that, you'll need to be seated inside of your ship. But this is up to your discretion. I mean, the turrets here are all automatic. They will target your enemies and shoot by themselves. Now from here, there are a lot of... there are many more things that you can actually do. More items you can access and customize, but it is a lot of detail. So I just gave you pretty much the basic. Signal logics, that is a hell of a tab, and I am not going into this. I'm probably going to do a separate video only with this. CPU statistics is as you put more items in your construction, in your building, or in your ship, it'll use more and more CPU. For that, you need CPU extenders. So with the basic core comes 5,000 CPU points. Now, if you want to have more turrets and shields and bigger generators, it'll use a lot more CPU. Each item you put in will show up here and show how much CPU it's currently consuming. If I were to add a tier 2 CPU, it'll boost my number up to 12,000. If I were to tier 3, 30,000, or if I am to tier 4, 100,000. Keep in mind that you do not need to have a tier 2 CPU on your ship if you have 2 tier 3 CPUs. And same with the 4 tier CPUs, you will not need the other ones. If you're busting your CPU number available to you, you will lose efficiency, making your generators work harder, maybe slowing down a little bit of production on your ship or on your base. It is highly recommended to try as hard as possible to stay under your CPU count. So in the statistics here, you got all of your information regarding the ship or the building you are in. You have the general description, how many blocks, device, all of that wonderful stuff. Over here, power and fuel will show you how many generators you have, how much max output is available to you, and how much you're consuming currently. Shows how many fuel tanks you have, how much fuel is left, and if you have a base, you're allowed to have solar panels, which will give you some more energy. It'll show you the output and the average output. Also how many batteries you have, the power remaining, how much time you have left, and also information about your pentaxid tank. Here you have your information about your oxygen and medical, how much oxygen you have, how many tanks, how many stations, and all of that beautiful little information here. Currently I have no oxygen in this ship, so nothing is showing up. In the attack defense tab, you have all the weaponry that is currently installed on your ship. Resource and time shows you what is needed for the vessel you are currently in and how much production time it would take to spawn it in. In the overview here, it gives you all sorts of beautiful information. When you're building a ship, it is quite important to keep all of this in mind. It'll show you how much power you have going forward, have it going down, going up, left, right, and backwards. Also, it'll give you information on your roll, pitch, and yaw. If you click here, you got the torque detail, which will give you the information about your roll, yaw, and pitch. As you can see, legend total torque is in green RCS plus your thrusters. Now, this will probably all be part of another video to show you how to build a more efficient ship and how to try and maximize all of this. Over here, you got the cargo production, which shows you how many cargo boxes you have on your ship, ammo boxes, fridge, food processors, and constructors. Thruster RCS, show you how many thrusters you have going back, front, top, down, left, and right. Shows you how many RCSs you currently have inside of your vessel. Hover engines and hover boosters. These are for hover vessels. You can't find that on small vessels and bases. If you feel like your pitch, roll, or yaw is too sensitive, you can always tune it down a bit until you get the satisfied rotation that you actually want. And passengers is, yeah, if you're playing single players, don't worry about that. Now, the last tab here is Station Services. So to access Station Services, you gotta go near a base in which you're neutral, friendly, or honored. As you get close enough, you'll get a prompt at the top of your screen saying that you can access the Station Services. Again, you can press P and press the Station Services tab. Now, this is the colonists' trading services, and right now with them I am friendly, meaning I get a 10% discount, which is awesome. First of all, each station will offer different types of services. Some of them will give you repairs, some of them will be able only to give you oxygen, fuel, or pentaxid. It all depends. So on the repair info, you can press the get cost and it'll show you how much it would cost to repair your ship. Currently, the one I have is not damaged, so I don't need to. Now currently, I have damaged my ship, and it would cost 95 credits to repair it. I currently have no credits on me, so screw this. You also have a fill-up shield cost, which, yeah, if you don't have any more pentaxid to recharge it, you can purchase it here. Over here, you have your ammunition that you can buy. You select which ammunition you want, select how many, and it'll give you the cost down here. When you're ready, you can buy. You can also purchase oxygen, fuel, and refined pentaxid. Wow, Rakoona, that is a lot of information. I know, and I didn't go into detail with the signal logic and all that, but that will be in another video. Alright, man, that's good. So guys, thank you very much for joining me in today's tutorial video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments, please leave them in the comments section below. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe. So until next time, take care and stay safe. Rakoona out.